All right, guys. So on this episode of Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff World, we have to talk about a Denver City Councilwoman by the name of CdeBaca, who is suggesting that as a form of reparations, the city tax white-owned businesses to fund reparations or to fund money for so-called black and brown-owned businesses. Yes, this is a real thing. This is a Democrat socialist that is essentially so desperate to win her runoff election that she's calling for an unconstitutional race-based tax. Again, this is exactly what the end game is of woke progressivism, right? Racism. Take a look.
City Councilwoman up for re-election is suggesting a tax on white business owners to pay reparations to black and brown business owners. Councilwoman Candi CdeBaca has not made a formal proposal of a race-based tax, which would almost certainly draw an immediate challenge on constitutional grounds.
Capitalism was built on stolen land, stolen labor, and stolen resources.
Denver Councilwoman Candi CdeBaca, Democratic Socialist, posted the clip from the runoff election forum this week to her TikTok.
A check today could not undo the cumulative impact of generations of that stolen wealth in all of those categories.
Both CdeBaca and her opponent, Darrell Watson, support racial reparations. Watson suggested private business investment in underserved communities. CdeBaca suggested that Denver's white-led businesses could pay an extra tax that would go to minority-owned businesses.
You could be collecting those extra taxes from white-led businesses all over the city and redistributing them to black and brown-owned businesses who are not targeted or who are simply just black or brown owned. And that's one way to give back in the business form fashion.
CdeBaca told me San Francisco has a similarly aimed legacy business program. San Francisco's legacy business program supports long-standing small businesses regardless of the race of the owner. And it's funded through the city's general fund, not by taxing white-led businesses. CdeBaca also told me the constitutionality of a race-based tax is not a factor because the tax would be considered voluntary if it was collected by business improvement districts or bids. A bid is formed when a majority of business owners in an area vote to create a quasi-governmental agency with taxing authority. The City of Denver's Finance Department confirmed that once a bid is created, its taxes are not voluntary for businesses within the district.
There is a way for us to change that structure and put black and brown people in ownership positions over our basic needs.
After CdeBaca's post was picked up by right-wing media outlets, her office released a statement saying she is being, quote, targeted by a white nationalist mob. CdeBaca is frequently the only dissenting voice on a number of issues before City Council, and she's been a top target of the Democratic establishment in the city since she won a runoff against former City Council President Albus Brooks 4 years ago. CdeBaca faces a runoff election in June.
Yeah, so you know it's bad when the liberal media outlets are fact-checking you, right? When they are quite literally going over your proposal and saying, no, this is unconstitutional. No, that's not how this works. This is not an actual real thing. You know it's bad, okay? You know it's bad when the local news media is fact-checking you point by point, which is exactly what that news outlet just did, okay? And it's just hilarious that this city councilwoman, who again is up for re-election, is proposing such a desperate thing. I mean, she knows it's unconstitutional, right? She knows that you can't do this, but again, she's trying to get votes. She's trying to get votes. And again, if you are a so-called black or brown person, you should be offended when you hear Democrats or socialists or progressives come out here and to propose silly stuff like this that they know is unconstitutional. They know that's not going to happen. They know that you cannot tax businesses based off race. Okay, you cannot issue a race-based taxation. You know you can't do that. She knows you can't do that, but she's going to put it out there anyways because she thinks that these people are dumb. Right? That's what it is. That's what it comes from. You have to think that the people that you're talking to are stupid, are just ignorant, for you to come out here and to propose something like that and think, yeah, this is going to get people to vote for me. Right? Like, again, people should be offended when Democrats and progressives do this. They do it all the time. They push stuff that is unrealistic, that is unconstitutional, as a way to try to race bait and to get so-called minorities to vote for them. Even though they know it's not possible. They know it's not going to happen. Again, they do this with reparations. That's what's happening out there in California. Okay, where they got all these black people riled up, wasting their time when they can be, I don't know, building a skill, getting their own reparations, right? Getting a job or something. They got all these black people out here riled up thinking that they're going to get a cash handout, right? Thinking that they're going to get $1 million check. Okay, the California Reparations Committee, they just approved, I think, $1.2 million, up to $1.2 million in reparations per black person. Now, a lot of these people don't know that that decision has absolutely no weight in regards to how the legislation works or whether or not the California legislature decides to move forward with that recommendation. It's just a recommendation that it has no legislative weight whatsoever. But again, you get all these people riled up thinking, oh, well, we just keep voting Democrat. We keep just voting Democrat. This will happen. We're going to get a $1 million check from the government, right? Again, it's so silly. And it's offensive to anybody with a brain. This should be offensive because it's very clear what's happening here. She's desperate. She's trying to get reelected. So she's basically just saying anything that she can to get stupid people to vote for her, right? Oh, we're going to tax these white businesses. And we're going to get the money to you guys. Knowing damn well it's unconstitutional. And then she wants to cry, oh my God, I'm being attacked by white nationalists. Well, I mean, you're literally proposing a race-based tax, right? If I was white, I'd be upset too. I'd be pissed. I'd make sure that you don't get reelected because you're trying to tax my business simply because of my skin color. People like that do not belong in office. People like that should not be getting voted into office. They should be disqualified when they come out here and they knowingly push unconstitutional race-baiting proposals like that. Because again, imagine a white politician coming out here and advocating for, I don't know, let's tax black businesses to get back to whites because of what happened during the BLM protest, right? Which, I mean, hey, I don't know. Maybe some of those protesters should pay reparations, right? I'm just saying, you have a much stronger argument for protesters, right, that participated in the BLM riots and Antifa as well, too. Okay, so we talk about white liberals as well, too. We're going to throw them in there. Much stronger argument for those people paying reparations to business owners, okay, than the argument this woman just made, right? In fact, maybe that's the argument that should be made. Maybe a politician should start running on that, right? Reparations to business owners that were negatively affected by the BLM protests / Antifa protests and riots. But I'm just saying, we all know how that will fly, right? We all know how that will fly if somebody said, no, we need black folks to pay reparations to white businesses that were destroyed during the BLM riots. We all know that wouldn't fly. Even though, hey, I'm just saying, there's a pretty decent argument for that. I'm just saying. But we know it wouldn't fly, right? We know it wouldn't fly. So, again, man, this is the type of desperation that a lot of these people have when they're trying to get reelected. They just say anything. They just put anything out there, and then stupid people line up and vote for them. And then they want to boo-hoo on and cry when they don't get what they were promised because, again, the promise was unrealistic in the first place. It's never going to happen. It's unconstitutional. Be struck down immediately. But again, these people think that you're too stupid to understand that. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.